Hey everybody, Derek Brown here with a very special Tuesday tutorial on BEATBoX SAX. And today's tutorial is going to be a little shorter. That's because it's not the most useful technique, and as a warning, it's a little bit gross. So if you don't like hearing about saliva and spit and things like that, you might not want to watch the rest of this. But if you're a horn player of any type, you, of course, are already used to lots of saliva because we play wind instruments where when we're blowing air in, just the condensation alone will get wet. But yes, there's also occasionally some moisture from our mouths going into the horn. And any sax player, of course, is used to this thing where we, of course, suck out the saliva so that we have a good clean tone when we play, because just playing normally will have some buildup. So you might be asking, Derek, why the heck are you talking about blowing into the horn and adding this saliva when I'm trying to get rid of it? Well, that's because I just thought it would be fun to kind of make an effect where it's kind of sounding like static when I'm playing the horn. Kind of I'm imagining hearing a saxophone through an old radio, maybe where there's a bad signal, and so it's just this really staticky, old, kind of cracking horn, almost like an electronic effect, but on a saxophone in an acoustic environment. So that's what I'm trying to do here. Once again, not the most useful thing, a little bit silly, but hey, I haven't seen any other videos on this or anyone talking about this, so I thought it'd be kind of a fun little tutorial today. So yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory to get this sound. Basically, just putting a lot of spit on your tongue and playing and trying to actually keep that spit there. I find that if you kind of hold your tongue up a little bit higher to the reeds so that moisture can interact with the tip of the reed, that will also be effective. Now, one of the things you may have already found out when you're playing the saxophone, if you've ever tried playing on your back, laying down with the saxophone way up like that, you may notice that your sound gets a little bit spittier, extra spittier when you're doing that, and that's just because the saliva can't go down through the rest of the horn like it usually does. It just kind of stays there and kind of moves around on the tip of the reed. And so actually, if you do kind of lean back a little bit, you can get that staticky sound to last a little longer. Of course, who wants that to last the whole time? I don't know. It's just an effect. So humor me. So yeah, I found also that maybe kind of using this as like kind of doing long tones or pads when you have a full band and you just kind of want an eerie kind of sound, maybe on the intro of a piece, that's where you could maybe use this. Hopefully the crowd listening to you will think of static and they won't think of spit. But whatever, that's the risk that we take as performers sometimes. So here's just some examples of me doing this, maybe with different levels of moisture in the mouthpiece. So here's just a little bit. So there, that might sound like a beginning sax player who hasn't learned to do that yet, and they just kind of have a little bit of that buzz, just enough to kind of give it a buzz, or just players after they've played for a while, that spit can form there. Now here's with kind of a medium amount of moisture. So you notice that was also kind of like just making the tone shake a little bit by, you know, doing a tiny little trill or alternate fingering just to go for that kind of electronic vibe, kind of altering the sound. And then here is with lots of spit, be warned. All right. And you can also just do the spit sound. Of course, if you blow too much air, you're going to probably get a note through the horn. And we've all done just the wind effects. I have a separate tutorial where I talk about air puffs. Just getting that sound. So this is kind of related. So anyways, take it or leave it. There it is. Static sound effect while playing the saxophone. Kind of ridiculous, I know, but something different. So there you have it. Now, if you want to hear something more useful, check out my other tutorials, or I'll see you next week doing something a little more serious and less gross, probably. Take care. See ya.